let's start with PSVR2. What do you think?
Sure. Sure. Let's do that. Let's rip off that Band-Aid.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm kind of sick of hearing about it until like we know more about like the launch of PSVR2. Would you agree? Like, you know, hearing this thing is coming to PSVR2, and this thing is coming to PSVR2 or whatever. Like, I guess is fine, but it doesn't really do a whole lot for me since we just don't know much. Like about what that release window is going to be like or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to me, it's not so much that I'm sick of hearing about it. I want to hear concrete details about it that are going to be
That's what I mean.
Like make me excited for it. Other than this ambiguous, well, it's also coming to PSVR 2 next year. Like when? Like what do you? Why?
Yes.
Just tell me it's not coming out this year. Tell me it's like just be more specific about it when you're announcing this stuff instead of this like drip feed. What are you, Zelda? Come on, Tears of the Crying Kingdom.
They did announce that it was Tears of the Kingdom.
I wonder why they needed to do that. I wonder why they didn't understand that we're confused because we're dumb Americans.
We did
with our dumb language. It's really hard to learn.
We did gloss over this though from that announcement is that it is coming in May, which I have nothing to say other than like okay,
it's gonna be May.
Love it. PSVR 2. Not going to be backwards compatible with original PSVR games. That has, like, people have been sort of debating this back and forth for a while, and Sony finally confirmed it during, on the official PlayStation podcast, episode number 439. We're catching up.
Well, you know what? Give us another 5 years. We will be right at 439.
Exactly. So, PlayStation Senior Vice President of Platform Experience, Hideaki Nishino basically said this. The question was asked to them, while I have you here, I've been getting some questions about some friends and some gamers just about whether or not they might be able to play original PSVR games on PSVR 2. So what say you? I like the way that's worded. And so he said this. PSVR games are not compatible with PSVR 2 because PSVR 2 is designed to deliver a truly next-generation VR experience. PSVR has much more advanced features like an all-new controller with haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, and inside-out tracking eye tracking in it. That's weirdly worded. 3D audio is coming, and HDR, of course. So he basically said, like, yeah, this is too advanced. What do you? How do you feel about that as a PSVR owner?
I think it's I understand it, but it's a mistake. And this is something that if they want to make sure that people go out and purchase this, they have to do something to make sure that the people who purchase this have a lot of things to play at the beginning. And the more stuff you have, like for me, it's like I don't want to have to go back between the two PlayStation VRs. I want to get my new one, and that's it. I'm done with it. But now I have to go back, and do I have to go back and if they come out with another Beat Saber for PSVR 2, do I have to buy all my track packs again? Am I gonna have to do that again? Like that to me, that hurts as a consumer. But again, this is nothing that I'm like shocked by. Because it is different. Technology is different. And not just that the technology, it looks better, it runs better processors. Literally how they're going to track it is going to be different than how they track things on the last one. So, like, I'm a little upset with it just because, like, from a consumer standpoint, it sucks. And, like, I'm going to have to rebuy things again. And there's still plenty of VR games that I own that I haven't played yet. Like, I have Doom VFR. I've never played it, but it, like, came packed in. But I have it, so now I'm never going to play it, I guess. So, like, I get it, but, like, first of all, say this from day one. This ain't a surprise,
just get in front of it, right?
Yeah,
rip the Band-Aid off, like, while you've got it,
Yeah, so, I don't know. What about you? As someone who doesn't have a PSVR 1, does this make you excited, not excited? Do you care? Does it hurt? Is it annoying?
Do you know why I don't have a PSVR?
Is it because...
among other reasons.
Is it because you wear glasses and it's hard to wear a VR headset with glasses?
Yeah, you know me, always complaining about these old glasses of mine. No, it's because among other reasons, right? I haven't seen anything on PSVR that I've been like, oh, I gotta play that. So
have you slapped down a VR headset before?
I have in the past, but like I did like VR Skyrim for like 5 minutes with a friend. I did a dogfighting simulator, like the airplanes, you know?
Yeah.
at PAX in Australia, and they put that on my head, and we were like, what's it called, dollying on the runway, where you're like rolling around on the runway, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like I'm looking around like the whole cockpit. I'm like, oh, this is like, yeah, this is pretty neat. And then the plane took off. And I was like, like I'm not one to get motion sick really, but I think just the how fast you were going in the plane and like what it was asking you to do, and you're like looking around and also controlling it, it was just way too much for me.
And I think that's like one of the hard things about VR. It doesn't necessarily probably preview very well. Like putting it on sometimes can be a good thing, but like part of the experience with it for me is like trying a different game in it and finding out what kind of games I like to play in VR. And obviously the ones I like to play are ones where you sit and look around rather than ones where you move a joystick. Any game that I play that I move a joystick and like 3D motion really is just not great for me. I do get crazy motion sickness. Rigs I played, and that game was like really fun, except when you are piloting a mech and you're just sitting in your chair and the world is moving, like things are shaking and I'm just sitting in my chair. My brain just does not deal well with that. So there is like some of that like adjustment factor, but like, I don't know. I would pay the price of a PSVR for my time I put in a Beat Saber. Like that is like just one of my favorite experiences that I've like had in video games in a long time. I enjoyed the hell out of playing these little like indie like little crappy games in Dreams. I'm gonna that'll probably be the thing I'm gonna do again for my October spooky game playthroughs. Just go through some Dreams games and like see what kind of horror things people have made at this point. But like there are like such cool experiences, and I'm glad I have it. It just sucks now that I've invested this money into these games that is not going to translate over to this niche product, which is another VR headset, which I'm still probably going to buy just because I think it's cool and I enjoy that. And to me, it's like that other part of gaming that like where I'm still kind of like not sure if I'm going to buy the Steam Deck once my pre-order comes due. This one is one of those I will pre-order it and play it no matter what because I think it's cool, and I just like that VR experience. But
yeah, sure, that makes sense. Well, according to this Twitter account, PlayStation 2 or they're at Parole PSVR. Their like name is PSVR2 without Parole. They are like a VR insider, and I've never heard of them before, but they tweeted in response to someone who's saying like, this sucks. It would have been cool to see some games in higher res. And they said, we will though. Tons of devs are working on PSVR 2 versions of their PSVR 1 games as we speak. So who knows? Maybe there might be some ports of older games to PSVR 2.
Well, and there will be. I don't think a lot of these games, specifically ones that have come out for other VR headsets, like the porting thing will happen. The problem for me as the consumer is to buy them again. I want to play Moss Book 2 the best I can play it. I don't want to buy the game again. You know, like I don't want to buy like my music packs again in Beat Saber. I don't want to like have to buy the squadrons again just so I can pilot an X-Wing and throw up in my headset in the comfort of my room. You know what I mean? Like I wish it was backwards compatible, but I mean, why was I assuming that? Why would I even think that with the history of PlayStation? I don't know. I know this isn't a money grab from Sony. It is probably legitimately a very different thing to develop.
Well, they're different hardware, right?
Yeah.
Like
it's like my Super Nintendo game is not going to go into my N64, but
yeah, it's different too. It's not like it's the jump from PS4 to PS5. It's like it to me, it's sort of like the switch to the PS4, right? Like,
but my Xbox games go into my Xbox Elite.
Your Xbox 08?
No, my Xbox Elite.
Oh, what's an Xbox
sorry,
Elite?
Series X. I forget the name of them.
I was like, do you have something I don't know about?
Yeah, I got a brand new thing. Phil. Hey, Phil. Yeah, come out of the closet there. Yeah. Can I show it yet? Not yet? Okay.
There's a... this was like recently. Someone asked him... He got interviewed by Famitsu. And they basically said like Xbox Game Studios like owns, like 23 studios. Like what can we expect from 2023? And then the quote from his is just Jesus. And someone tweeted at him being like, is this right? And he's like, it is a mistranslation. But that's so funny. I'm just like you got 23 studios. Like what's coming in 2023? Jesus.
Or maybe he meant it like literally Jesus
yeah.
will be coming out of our Series X's.
Who's to say? Who's to say? All those teraflops, all those IntelliCores, maybe that's enough to produce the second coming.